Well, the Lagos State recently concluded its 2021 Economic Summit with a theme for a greater Lagos, setting the tone for the next decade. And one major takeaway from the summit is the federal government's commitment to support more massive investments in the state to boost its economic potential as one of the world's fastest growing megacities. And the fact that Lagos makes a significant contribution to the Nigerian economy, contributing about 30% to the country's GDP. So what will this mean for the state? How can the state harness its potentials? The state's Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Samuel Egube, joins us now. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Egube.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. So your 2021 Economic Summit had the theme for a greater Lagos, setting the tone for the next decade. What message are you trying to pass there, and how apt is it at this time?
Well, the world is changing, and it's changing very rapidly. And it's important that as Lagos, which is a leading light in Nigeria, we need to begin to set the tone for the next decade to accommodate the massive changes going on across the world, and to prepare our people for the nature of competition that is ahead and the kind of economy that will stand its ground in the future. As you are aware, you have the African Free Trade Agreement going on. You have all kinds of, you have the pandemic still on, and the need for a digitalized environment going on and changing the way we interact. So that's what it means for Lagos. The people who are stakeholders to Lagos now needs to come together, and they did come together during Ehigbeti to say this is the way we envision Lagos to be, and these are the various roles that the government should play, the private sector should play, and the civil society at large.
All right, Mr. Egube. Lagos is the commercial investment, travel and maritime hub of West Africa and Nigeria. In fact, it is considered a mini national economy. The state government presented a 26.52% increase in its budget for 2021, which it called the Budget of Rekindled Hope. Why is this significant to Nigeria and the indigents of the Lagos metropolis?
Because hope is very important in a time of despair, and that budget is significant because it's a large one. It's a milestone type budget, and basically what the budget is saying is that at the heart of it, we need to look at our people. We need to begin to build human capacity. So your oil or your solid minerals and all of those natural resources will be meaningless if the people are not prepared to convert them into value. And Lagos is the most populous state by population, by far, and the smallest by geographical area. But we've positioned ourselves as a state that is the gateway to Nigeria by the world, and also a pathway for Nigeria to the world. So it's important that this budget tends to drive very aggressively human capital development, which we put an additional 33% in our human capital development, and focused a lot on women development and also vocational and technical based skills acquisition to basically prepare our people for the market. As we transition into the African Free Trade Zone, it's important that in that zone, it will not be about nationalities, but about cities. And therefore, Lagos must play that unique strategic role for Nigeria to compete with other cities across Africa for competitiveness and market share. So this budget begins to prepare the infrastructure. You can see that we've put in about 291 in infrastructure, a growth of about 38% from prior year, to just get ourselves running. So you see the investments in the deep sea port, you see our investment in the rail infrastructure, both the red line and the blue line, that will move a total of 32.5 million people when completed in about 2 years' time, from both Okoko to Marina and from Agbado to Marina, shortening the journey time by about 250%, from about 2 hours journey to about 45 minutes. That way we increase the productivity of our people. So it is focused on people development, it's focused on youth engagement, so that our youth, which is a significant amount of our population, will participate in this coming competition that is coming, and will then play that significant role as an economic and a financial hub for Africa, as our vision does state.
Now, Lagos State has the highest foreign debt profile among the 36 states, and the FCT accounting for about 5.64%. How have you been able to manage your debt?
I think that what you should be looking at is not the size of the debt, but the amount of debt service compared to the kind of revenues you generate. And I will tell you, we have maintained our debt sustainability ratio at about, it was 19% last year and 22% this year. We believe we will manage it. We have very, very strong financial managers in cabinet. Mr. Governor himself has very strong antecedents in corporate finance. And we have the Commissioner for Finance and myself, all who have very strong financial history. And it's within that capacity that we keep managing our financial situation in good light. Like you know, last year we did negotiate, right, our debt portfolio, reducing interest rate from about 18% average to low 12%, and so in some cases below single digits. This year, again, we've just closed another transaction to review downwards and work downwards our interest rate. So we are quite tight on our monetary cost management, and in general terms, how we manage those debts. And therefore, we stayed within our sustainability. The benchmarks really are about 40 and in some cases 30, but at 22%, we have significant amount of room to do more for the people of Lagos so that we can fast track our infrastructure and capital investments to allow small and medium businesses get some efficiencies and grow, and therefore are able to employ a lot of people and develop the entire human capacity indices and livability indices in Lagos.
And most governments fall back on tax to improve their revenue. For a state like Lagos, how do you think the government can boost its revenue other than through tax means?
Well, governance is really about taxes and the rule of law, right? And for Lagos, we still have significant amount of room to rein in on taxes. And what I mean is that we can optimize the amount of and bring into the tax net a lot of people who are currently either not paying taxes or are not paying the right taxes. And the rule is, first of all, make it easy. So we are focusing on, first of all, simplifying the process and then digitalizing the process so that it is easy for those who want to pay to render their returns and pay the appropriate taxes. We're also trying to remove out of the system a lot of discretion so that everybody sees that we are running a very transparent system in terms of our tax administration. So transparency and sustainability are the hallmarks of this government. And we intend to continue to pursue that. We believe that if the process becomes simpler, if it's digitalized, people can easily pay their taxes, then we'll be able to get more people to pay taxes. And we really believe there are huge pockets of tax increase opportunity. And I'm not talking about an increase in the tax rate. I'm talking about an increase in the collection mechanisms, right? And that's exactly how we believe the tax collections and revenues will go up. We also intend to ensure that there's significant improvement in the general organization in terms of our urban and physical planning. And once things get organized better, you then find out that leakages are stopped and the productivity of the tax collection and administration process throws out more revenue from those taxes and levies without necessarily increasing rates.
All right, Mr. Igube, just a quick one before we let you go. Now, many states are reneging on the payment of the new minimum wage. How has Lagos State been able to keep paying when others are not?
So as a state, we are an extremely robust state in the way we manage our finances. And that's the reason. You can see, for example, we're spending a lot of time renegotiating our borrowings to try to save on interest expense. We're spending a lot of time in trying to run a more efficient government, right? To try to adapt very quickly to changes. A lot of our meetings right now are online and virtual, right? We are one innovative state, and we are always reinventing ourselves. And that is why we are able to keep ahead, right? Like I said at the beginning, to be an example, right? And to ensure that we pay those salaries. Those salaries are basically living wages. And if we are going to be focusing on human capacity development, you must also ensure that you are paying those kind of wages that people can at least just have a living and eke a living. And therefore, you must organize your government and organize your management, both financial management and other forms of management, to just ensure you're on track in making this happen for the people of Lagos.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Igube, Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Lagos State. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.